All right, y'all. So we just bowled 8 games, PTQ at the TOC, and it was crazy. He's got a crazy story because he's an idiot, and it's okay because it all worked out in the end. Because he actually literally texted me and says, "I shouldn't even be bowling this morning. I should just not even bowl."
That did happen. That text got sent.
This is where we put the SpongeBob SquarePants emoji, where he's just like,
I literally shouldn't be bowling.
I literally shouldn't be bowling.
Right.
But anyway, so tell them what happened.
Yeah, so basically...
Not my fault.
Not your fault at all. Basically, I'm just going through a process with my thumbs to convert over to a bigger size head. I'm doing that so I have more thumbs that all feel the same. Problem is, I drilled a couple balls while I was at JR's shop, and I had taken my old thumb out because I was checking some stuff with it. This guy, this idiot here, decided he was going to let that thumb sit in his shop in Detroit and then drive to Ohio and not have that thumb, and realized it this morning because, so yeah, I had like 19 bowling balls I couldn't use. I had 2.
You had 2? Oh, you told me 1, which was probably
it was
TNT.
Actually 2. No, it was that Eternity and a Pitch Black.
Oh, well, you probably would have been fine.
Actually, that is the Eternity I threw. Yeah. So, yeah, basically we start game 1. I had to, luckily John Sullivan on the truck was able to convert some of the balls I had, so like 8 balls, to 1 3/8. I was able to use them, but the problem was I had to cut down the thumb because the depth was different. So then when we cut down the mold, now I couldn't clear the thumb anymore because the mold didn't feel the same. So game 1, I missed the head pin 5 times because I couldn't get it off my hand. Well, I ended up basically taking a bevel knife to this thumb hole, frame 8 of game 1, and just making it massive so I could get my thumb in it. And then I found a way to go 220 over the last 7 to be the 9th place number.
Starting 140.
Yeah, I shot 149 game 1 and was 52nd in the field.
Yeah.
And somehow we got to 9th.
To be fair, I bowled 150 game 4, but it was after bowling 278.
After having the front 9.
Yeah. And it was so weird, too, because that pair was, like, really good. Everybody had, like, there was, like, 5 guys.
I don't know if you know this.
That had, like,
I hit that pair the next game, shot 240 on that pair.
Yeah, I mean, that pair was just dead walled.
You just weren't far enough left at that point yet.
Yeah, because, once I moved to the next pair, which was literally just moving to the next pair.
Yeah.
And I had nothing. I had air. I was using a 2.5-inch pin raw.
Yeah.
And I was playing like 12, 13 straighter up the lane, and no.
Every time it saw it early, it got offline, and every time you kind of got it through the front.
Not on that pair. That pair never got offline. It just never hooked.
Yeah.
So I was forced to move left, and I used 5 different balls. And eventually figured something out at the end, but.
So we can agree, Eternity.
Ball of the year so far.
Pretty damn good.
Yeah.
I've got 2 now and more coming.
Yeah, I've only got the 1, but I will probably drill another one if we get to match play this week.
They are. That ball is very good.
So you finished, 172 over?
Yep.
And you were the number, and I was 188 over, but I bowled 254 the last game to get there.
Oh, you shot 250 the last game.
I bowled 250 the last game.
Yeah, I
bowled 170 down here, the last pair that you finished on.
Oh, yeah, that pair.
Yeah.
That was an interesting pair.
Yeah, that left lane was on fire.
Yeah, so luckily, we say it all the time, but, tour reps are important, and coming down to the pair, obviously, JR actually went to say something to me, but he saw I started with the front 3, so he didn't say anything.
Nope.
My tour rep actually told me, he's like, this pair just hooks a bunch. So I moved 4 left, shot 1, and doubled. And to be honest with you, 4 on the left lane was still not enough. No. I ended up being like 7 more left than where I was the pair before. But
that sounds about right.
Yeah.
I mean, and it was at least 7 or 8 more than the right lane for me, too.
Yeah, so I was probably playing them about 4 or 5 different.
It was crazy.
But, yeah, it was, I basically shot 245 games the last 7 and found a way in, and then grinded out 220 on that last pair, 219, and that got me to the number.
Yeah, because I was bowling with Toby Sambueno, who was 170 over, and he bowled 190.
Oh.
But he left the nastiest stone 7-9 I've ever seen. Like, it was crazy. On a 3-bagger.
Wow.
So it was like, yeah.
Well, I left the nastiest 5-pin you've ever seen.
Yeah.
On the left lane because it went dead Brooklyn.
Oh, yeah.
Because there was that spot on that lane where if you hit it.
Because you stood up on it so fast, you just popped your head up like, what was that?
I'm like, well, because
I just went flush on that lane.
Yeah, in the second frame, I come down, make the move, And I go, dead flush, dead flush, dead flush. And I'm like,
was quick.
I'm sorry. I go, dead flush, dead flush, dead flush. And I'm like, oh, we're good. Like, I know I need 220, 230 here probably to get in. But I was like, yeah, this pair's great. And then in the fourth frame, I absolutely aced one. And at 30 feet, it just like, and goes runaway 5-pin. And I'm like, okay, we might have a problem.
That pair was a problem
Yeah.
for me. I mean, U-Bolt 2-teen, that was huge because I think the three of us, Toby had 2-teen on that pair, but I had 170 and Tim had 170 on that pair the game before.
Yeah, it was tough.
It was not a fun pair.
Sure.
But yeah, so I knew I needed at least the first hit in the 10th that last game.
To get in.
That got me to into the 170s, the first hit did.
Yeah.
The second hit got me into 180s, so I knew I was good. But yeah, I did ace the first one in the 10th, so it was pretty good. The second one was pretty good too. So
That's
feeling pretty good.
You know, that feeling's always good.
Yeah.
That was me and Jackson last week, that game. Game 6.
Which ball was it? Which ball?
Eternity?
Eternity.
Eternity,
weird.
again. It's weird.
We were just using an eternity. That's just what we do.
Might be having a jersey made with those colors.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to have a jersey made. I might actually just put the eternity right on the front of it.
There you go.
Right there. But
So we both made the main field.
Yep. So we're both bowling. So we've got
Both bowling all
18
week.
games of qualifying, and then hopefully 24 games of match play.
Yeah,
to
and
get
then
into
you only
the
got to
top
beat
17.
7 guys.
Yeah, I know, right?
Right?
So-
Easiest chance we're going to have to make a show.
And honestly, my look wasn't that much different on this pattern. than it was
Honestly,
earlier.
for what I like to do, my look might have actually been better.
Yeah.
Because with it being a foot shorter, I felt like I actually had a little bit more bounce to the right. So
Yeah, they definitely hooked a little more.
as long as you could get it started and it was going left to right, you had some. You had some room. It was just more of you couldn't throw the bowling balls that wouldn't see it in that like 20 to 30 foot
Yeah, you
window.
couldn't use the quick bowling balls. It had to be big, slow balls.
Yeah, like
which-
Eternity again looked
yeah.
really good. For me, UFO alert looked good. Zen at the end looked really good, actually.
I had that ambush. I took that ambush with these there's some new pads coming out from CTD that he's got like a conditioner that you use on it. And it was 1,000 pad. And it's just, they're made different. I don't know how to explain it yet once I get more information on them. But he gave them to me to use. So I'm like, all right, I'll try them out on practice. I did it on my raw, and I did it on the ambush. And the raw was really good. It's a 2.5-inch pin raw. So I was able to get straighter up the lane to start. And then once that went away, my ambush, I could go way around the lane, and it was so slow.
Yeah.
It worked out really good.
Yeah,
Anything
I mean,
quick was no good.
Realities looked good on the fresh for me. Pitch black looks okay, pretty straight to start. A lot of guys are going to do that. We're
I
going to
didn't
see
see a lot of,
urethane.
I don't know, I didn't see a lot of guys really.
So I talked to Sean Ryan about this, and it's funny because I said the same thing. I was like, I didn't see a lot of guys throwing it, and he goes, correct, because what happens out here is guys basically default to throwing, purple hammers or pitch blacks or whatever you may be for urethane balls. And he's like, a lot of the guys threw it for 6 or 7 shots, saw that it was okay, and then put it away.
Because they was that okay.
Well, that's what they think,
Yeah.
right? And to be fair, with it being this pattern's still less than 2 to 1 or right around 2 to 1, it's always going to be the safest option on the fresh.
Yeah.
Like it's going to keep the ball in play. It's going to keep you from splitting a little bit more. Like,
True.
So guys are just going to default to it, especially the guys that like to get left because they're going to do that for a game or so and then.
Did you throw pitch black to start practice just to see what it did?
I did, and
Oh,
I did, and it looked okay.
Okay.
It looked all right. Like I could get probably like 7, 8, throwing it to like 5, 6, that kind of thing. So it looked
Yeah.
okay. I figured you'd be able to throw purple between 5 and 10.
I probably can, but I was watching it kind of wiggle a little bit down lane, so I put it away pretty quick just to see what else I had. I had the world with that 2.5-inch pin raw. So
Okay. Yeah, I mean that's good. It makes sense. It doesn't flare a lot. Keeps it in play. Keeps it in front of you.
Yeah.
I talked to Richie Teese, a couple guys too, that we kind of feel like there's a dead zone this week. It's kind of that 11 to like
18?
16, 17 range.
you just got to jump it.
Yeah, so like a lot of guys are going to throw urethane or some bigger slow balls early, be around 10, throwing it to 5, 6, and then it's going to be a 20 board move left.
Yeah.
With quicker
much.
balls and bigger
Yeah,
balls.
basically.
So
Yeah, that'll pretty much know how it goes. But yeah, so we
I mean
start at
unfortunately that's like 90% of the events we bowl.
Right.
But Yeah, I mean, it's just how the patterns transition out here with the rev rates and the fronts.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. So we bowl at 11 a.m. tomorrow, and then we bowl again at 5. So be on the lookout for all that.
Yep.
Try to get some footage. Try to get his wife will be here, so hopefully his wife will take some footage,
Hopefully.
and I'll get some guys to take some good stuff too.
Yeah,
So.
this is a huge week for both of us. With it being a major, we get triple points, so it's massive for staying in the top 50 and kind of trying to work your way towards that goal. I know JR's not quite out here full time, so I don't know if that's necessarily his goal.
Don't really care about the points too much, but
yeah, like for me, that's the goal.
Right.
The whole goal this year was come out here, make the top 50, so I don't have to bowl PTQs next year. And,
Right.
And obviously, I didn't get to update you guys about last week, but last week, I finished 5th, so got a bunch of points and back in the top 50. So this week I'm getting a huge advantage on a lot of guys that are in the top 50 that aren't getting to bowl because there's some guys that had to bowl the PTQ. So big week, got to take advantage of it again. Every week you get in the field, you got to take advantage of it.
Just got to get into that top 17 match play. That'll be pretty cool, that step ladder.
Oh, we both got to make a show.
That's going to be really weird.
If we both make the show,
that'd be sweet.
Let's go.
We get some people to make some really good footage there.
We got to qualify top 10.
Yeah.
Top 10, there we go. Top 10 gets you on the second show.
Yeah, that would be good.
Yeah, that's what you're looking for.
Yeah, I don't want to be 16 or 17 and then have to bowl.
I mean, if you're 16 and you win 6 matches and then you're on the top show, like, you never know.
That's tough, man.
I mean, I'm not saying it's not tough, but, that's a lot of TV time.
Yeah, that would be crazy.
Plus, like, it is one of those things. You get comfortable. That pair's going to play different. This is the first time this is ever happening. Never had a 17-person step ladder.
That's sickening. I don't even know what to think about it.
The only thing I think you can think about is if you make the top 24 this week, of how bad you're going to feel if you're one of the 7 guys that doesn't make the top 17. Yeah, that's the only thing I can imagine.
This is certainly one of the hardest top 24s to make. This is going to be brutal.
It was funny. I was talking to Parker during practice. So his exact statement was, this tournament is actually one of the easier tournaments to finish in the middle of the pack. Because there are a lot of guys bowling this tournament that don't bowl on tour full time.
Yeah, that's true.
They come because their tournament, they've won titles in the past. So they get into this tournament. Just for you guys to know, there is no entry fee. If you have a national title and you want to bowl this event, you can show up and bowl. And you get into the field. So obviously for us PT guys, we had to pay to bowl the PTQ, and then we get in and that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of guys bowling this week that this might be the only tour stop they bowl all year, but for them, they won titles 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 20 years ago, that they want to come bowl. And just kind of, this is their nostalgia. They can come have a fun week with some people that they used to see. So it's different for the guys that are out here every week, because those are the guys that are going to finish near the top. So some of those guys that don't bowl every week, they might be a little bit easier to beat because they're not out here, they're not tour sharp.
Still don't think they're easy to beat.
No, but compared to a main field of 60 guys that are bowling week in, week out, might be a little tougher than 60 guys where 10 to 15 of them aren't bowling week in, week out.
Right.
They're really good. I'm not saying they're not good bowlers. I'm not taking anything away from them. But it's different when you're not out here every week. It is thoroughly, extremely different. So
that's for sure.
But you make top 24 this week.
Make a little bit of money. And
best chance you're going to have to make the show.
Yep.
By a lot.
Absolutely.
Because some of us are really good at finishing 5th in events where the top 4 make the show.
Yeah, you should have bowled better.
Fair.
It happens.
Fair.
All right, guys, we're going to get out of here. This was our update for today. We'll probably try to do another update after the first block tomorrow.
Absolutely.
And we'll see where we're at. So
sure. Maybe I think I might have some balls. We might maybe try and do a giveaway this week.
That'd be sweet. We can do that. Absolutely.
I'd be able to do that. I think I got some extra stuff that I can raffle off.
All right.
So
well, it's Bowling Undisputed. We out.
Absolutely.